to our first Twinkle Live parents for Key Stage 1 age children. So this is a live for parents of Key Stage 1 age children, which is children aged 5 to 7. And today we'll be exploring science experiments that you can do at home with your little one, all about plants. So today I'll be using some fruit that I've had at home, but you can do this experiment with lots of different plants. It doesn't just have to be fruit or vegetables that you've got in at home. It can be plants, it can be things that you see out and about. You can just investigate however you like. So if you don't have any fruit that you have at home to use, if you don't have any fruit, that's fine. There are lots of ways to explore plants at home too, which I will show you later on using a Ziploc bag with cotton wool and seeds, and I'll show you in all the alternative ways. So any comments about equipment, ask away, pop them in the chat and we'll get back to you. And first of all, we'll think about why you should investigate with your child. So doing investigations with your child at home can be a really fun way to engage your child in science and get them thinking about all things science without them even really realising it. So your child, being aged 5 to 7, will have gone through the EYFS in reception and in nursery, and they would have done lots of investigating already, and they would have had a look at the world around them and already picked up and done lots of investigating in things like having a look at the world around them, having a look at humans, having a look at animals, and thinking about how things work. And then when your child gets into year 1, they'll start to think about more specifics of science like plants, and then when they get into year 2, they'll also explore the specifics in more detail, such as seeds and bulbs and lots of different things that could be used to explore plants. So I will give you a few ideas today on how you can use investigations at home with your child, but there are lots of ways that you can think of at home that we will share with you as well on how to investigate at home. So the first thing that I'm going to show you is an investigation that you can do to explore seeds at home with your child. I have got with me today a strawberry and a tomato. So if you have a strawberry and a tomato at home, you could explore your strawberry and tomato with your child. They might pick up on the fact that they are both red. They both have green tops. And then they might then also pick up on how you can see the seeds of this strawberry here, but you can't see the seeds of the tomato here. So you might have to cut into the tomato carefully to reveal their seeds. Then with your child, you could compare the seeds and have a little think about how the seeds are different. The seeds in the tomato are bigger, and the seeds on the outside of the strawberry are smaller. So you could do that comparison with your child. If your child is in year 1 or year 2, they will explore the process of how plants are grown. So you might want to collect some of the seeds and collect them into a Ziploc bag. I have got this press bag here, even better if it's zipped shut, but it doesn't matter. You just need one of these bags, and in the bottom you can put some cotton wool. I've just ripped up some of these cotton wool here, and you can pop the seeds in your bag, and then you can watch with your child how the seeds are then growing. Will the seeds grow some roots? Will the seeds then develop into the plant of the seed that you put in? So you can do that with your child, and that obviously takes a little bit of time. So over this amount of time, you could talk to your child about investigating and what you're doing to investigate, and perhaps think about how you could give instructions to do this investigation further. So think of those instructional verbs like put or place or peel. All of the ways you're giving instructions on how to carry out the investigation. When you're investigating at home, like I said earlier, it doesn't have to be fruits. You can also investigate with plants, and especially if your child is a little bit younger, perhaps even if they're in the EYFS or if they're in Key Stage 1, which is year 1 and year 2, they might then also be experimenting and investigating plants around them. So when you're on your walk, you could have a look at the plants that are out around you in your walk, or you could have a look at the plants at home. I've got at home a lily and a rose. You could compare these plants with your child. You could talk about the stalk. You could talk about the stem. You could talk about the petals. Are they a similar colour? Mine are a similar colour, but my petals on my lily are longer and they have like these little dots in them. Your child might ask what it's called, and if you don't know, that's fine. You can have a go at researching it after and turn it into a research and learn with your child about all the different features of plants. So you could have a little think about how many petals there might be, or why are the petals growing differently? Can you see any seeds or bulbs in your plant? So any questions, remember to ask away or just check the comments if you've got any questions. There is also a really useful 5 to 7 plants activity booklet that you could use with your child. If you don't have a printer, that's no problem. You can view it on a device. And within this booklet, there is actually the Exploring Seeds activity with pictures of the seeds. So there's pictures of strawberries and tomatoes in there, and also watermelons or avocados. So you could compare the pictures. You don't have to have the physical fruit or objects with you. If you are exploring plants, there is also a really useful information guide to springtime plants, where there's also lots of activities included in there that you could do with your child. So you could use the information sheet. Like earlier, I wasn't quite too sure on what the marks on the lily was called. You could see if that's in the information sheet with your child and turn it into a learning experience, extending their vocabulary, which is a really great way to do so by having a look in the booklet. Or you could also have a look at the other activities. They're not just all science related. There's some great craft activities that you could do to link in craft learning. We've obviously linked their vocabulary skills as well, and you can also link their mathematical learning as well from in the booklet, where you could create and have a go at helping Jack with his numbers on a beanstalk. So there's lots of different activities that you can do with your child which extends their learning about plants. So preparing them for later years, when your child then moves on to year 3 and year 4 and moves up through the years, they will also continue to still learn about plants. So there's lots of things that you can do. You can carry out these investigations too, and then you can also start to think about fair tests, which I will talk a lot more about in Wednesday's live. Next Wednesday's live, we will continue to think about celery and plants, and we will do an investigation on how water travels through celery and learn about fair tests then, and how we can conduct investigations with our child at home on celery and fair tests. I hope you've enjoyed today's live. Any questions, remember, pop them in the comments, and I look forward to seeing you on Wednesday. Bye for now.